Welcome to the Never Been Promoted podcast and YouTube channel. I'm on a mission to help you cut the time to all the things that are holding you back so you can unleash your entrepreneur. Welcome to Never Been Promoted. I'm your host, Thomas Helfrich. We are going to be flipping the script on flip-flops today. That's right. 2,000-year-old technology that Jesus mastered walking through the streets of Bethlehem, or I'm just making up names and dates at this point. Did you know, by the way, BC stands for before coffee and AD stands for after drinking it. That's how I rock my mornings. There's a BC AD period. You definitely want to hit me about on the AD side of it. So today we're going to be joined by Sean McKnight. He is the founder of the original Flip Flap. Isn't that pretty cool? Flap, F-L-A-P. And he's got this kind of cool thing where it can turn almost any flip flop into like a sport mode, like around your heel. He'll explain it. He's in, the thick of entrepreneurship, the highs, the lows. We're gonna have a great conversation about how he markets and the challenges and all the things he needs to do. If this is your first time here, though, I want to just do a small shameless plug. If you can, go to youtube.com/@neverbeenpromoted. Our mission's really clear for anybody who's just joining for the first time. We want to help entrepreneurs get better at entrepreneurship by cutting the tide, all this stuff holding you back. I want you to get out there, unleash the entrepreneur within you. There's tons of stuff that holds you back, doesn't need to. Learn something from each one of our guests because they're in the thick of it. They've learned stuff and they're doing it. But enough shameless plugs, enough mission statements. That's why you quit corporate. Let's get Sean. Sean, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Thomas. Appreciate you.
You're a Block Season 18 cast member as well as myself. Right. So we met there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the most humid, hottest city on the planet next to the Philippines, maybe. I don't know. It was pretty damn hot there.
Yeah, not the prettiest town either.
Yeah. When we were there, it was funny because there were thunderstorms. And I grew up in the Midwest. What part of the country do you live in again?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right. Well, North Carolina's gotten beat up by some hurricanes lately.
Western, yeah,
definitely. Being here in Atlanta, and growing up, I grew up in the Midwest in St. Louis, and so thunderstorms were normal. And I remember one day, like the power kept going out during the day and at night at the hotel, and people were like freaking out. And I'm like, hey, listen, unless you hear the sirens, don't worry about it.
Right?
You hear the sirens? Sorry, you might want to worry about it. You got to worry about it at that point. We never heard any. The Flip Flap, the original Flip Flap. This is your company. It's fun. It's good. It's practical. It's way cheaper to do that than other stuff, and to keep your flip flops on while you're dancing around and partying at concerts or taking a long stroll.
Yeah,
working out. A lot of people wear Crocs to work out now. I don't know why, but you want to do a small introduction to Sean of yourself and your company and kind of set it up for us?
So I'm Sean McKnight. I'm the founder of the original Flip Flap company, and my company makes a patented silicone backstrap to keep your flip-flops on for tubing, fishing, camping, festivals, or you can take it off, wear it like a bracelet or an anklet or a choker or a belt or a cock ring. Fits everyone. There's nothing like it on the planet. There's also the perfect advertising solution. Nothing has ever existed like it before. It's fantastic. You'll love it.
You mentioned cock ring. Could you show us how that works really quickly?
Sure. Hold on a second.
For those listening, you'll have to see the video if he did or did not show us. Oh my God, that was amazing. He just threw it right on the table.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what though.
Yeah.
It's the benefit if you watch the video, you know what happened, and if you're listening, you're like, I gotta watch the video more often. That's why you go to youtube.com. All right. So what made you come up with this idea?
Well, I'm a lead singer by trade. I'm not a businessman or an engineer. I just got tired of walking out of my flip-flops. And I looked forever, couldn't find a solution. Then years later, I got into a terrible car wreck, gave me a little bit of money and plantar fasciitis in my right foot, made it difficult to wear flip-flops. So 6 surgeries later, I went to Carowinds, a theme park here. I get on the first ride. I see all the flip-flops and slides kicked off to the side of the ride. I was like, well, maybe other people want a backstrap. So I get off the ride. I go find my friend, She said a flip-flop came flying through the air, almost hit her in the head. I realized I had been chosen. I didn't need a third sign. So I bought a 3D printer. I made plastic molds, poured liquid silicone for 3 years till it was just right. Spent another 6 months blending silicones to find one that would work. Then I put it on Amazon in 2022.
You know, we'll talk about markets later, but I think you just described who you need to go sell to. Is those theme parks and say, hey, don't lose your flip flops today. Go buy these for $5 and stick them on. And they can theme park, 6 flags in the back.
You help me do that and we'll talk. My problem is communication.
People don't get it. I just see it as the theme park can go sell something at high margin and you get to sell a lot of them to a lot
Right.
of them. Yeah,
Well, the goal originally was to license the product because not knowing, I don't know shit about shit, right? So not knowing anything, I was like, oh, I created this perfect item that's going to be perfect for advertising, marketing, and everybody's going to want it. And I was like, that's not really how things work. So,
well, you got to have the Walmart version that's just cheap and it get destroyed and you get it because the parent doesn't want to lose the damn flip flops or have the kids lose. What's more annoying, right, as a parent is they lose their their flip flops fall off every 15 seconds and you're always waiting on them and you're like, can you please keep up? So for me, that'd be just keep them on. For a theme park, it's just money. So
yeah,
that's where
I have lots of customers. Like I deliver ride share, so I'm passing out business cards 10 to 20 times a day, and so I have a captive audience. And a lot of people are asking, does it fit children? And yes, it's universal. It fits everyone. Well, this fits up to men's size 10 comfortably. I'm making a second generation that will be fit up to men's size 15. But children's it's concerned by lots of parents. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, 15 is extreme. I mean, I'm a 13, can find shoes everywhere, but if you go over a 13, forget it. You gotta find that random Marshalls category.
Well, it'll fit smaller. That's the whole thing. It can be adjusted. I've had several customers or riders who did have a size 15 foot. Oh. So, or if you
thought you were talking still on the cock ring side. Now that makes more sense. We're talking about shoes now. I thought we were still on the cock ring.
Oh,
we don't have to edit that. That may have been intentional. So, let's go back. So you're a lead singer. So you're a musician by trade, which is a form of entrepreneurship. It's one that's, it can pay as well as social work or nothing. And so,
yeah, right.
I
would say that it was all originals. I feel like we played music more for ourselves. If I'd ran it like a business, if I'd understood anything about business at the time, would have been a very different story. I might not be here today doing this.
Oh, so tell me about the actual, the start. Like you said, you poured silicone in 3D. How do you even know to do, when someone's thinking of doing a product?
Yeah.
And I've always been on the services side of the stuff. So it's knowledge and execution. You go do stuff to help solve. It's on the thinking side, maybe more or less so than building side.
Right.
How did you even approach that?
Well, it was very intimidating, first of all, because I don't know anything, like I said originally, but I had a neighbor who had a garage with everything. He was an electrical engineer. So basically we started cutting like an elastic leg strap, this stretchy leg strap. So we cut that in several pieces, glued it together, glued the ends to dog collar clamps, plastic dog collar clamps. It worked. But it was heavy. It was ugly. It was terrible. I was like, oh no. I was like, what am I going to do now? Because I don't know anything. Somehow I started working with silicone. And I was trying to make this for me. I wasn't really concerned at the time about other people. I just wanted a backstrap for myself. And so that led to working with silicone, making some molds like that. And once I realized that was the goal, then I bought a 3D printer.
I've never done 3D printing. I can't believe I haven't bought one, but I've learned to resist the urge to act on my urge.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd have like 4 of them because I'd have bought the wrong one first and then the super expensive one next that didn't do everything.
A big time suck as well.
They look like a time suck and they look expensive. Like, oh, you can get one. And then you're like, how much materials? So,
right.
Tell me something. So when you're going through the iterations of it, and this is really for people to learn as you're doing a product, what would you have done differently if you were to do it over again? If you go back to that moment and you can transfer the knowledge you have and the wisdom today, what do you do differently?
I would have started sooner. I didn't have the belief that I could make something. And so I definitely would have started earlier. I went to some people for some advice who were in the business, and they gave me advice that didn't work for me. So I spent some money on mechanical items I didn't need. Essentially, the process. Well, the reason it took 3.5 years to develop, because you would have to render get a render of the mold you wanted to make, put that in the 3D printer, then print it, then pour the silicone, wait 8 to 12 hours for it to cure, pull it, and you're like, well, that's not quite right. Then you have to go render some 3D stuff again, put it in 3D printer, print that again. So the time is just, I got tired of having to do that every day. I was like, oh, I got to go pull this shit again. It was just all day long for 3 years.
Now, in your current business, right? I mean, all American made, and that stuff helps with marketing. But how do you think about like just China saying, "Hey, I can produce this for less than a penny a piece"?
Well, it's not American made. The original one was made in China. I used a facilitator to help me.
Sorry. You own it, same way Apple does it, right? Assemble it.
Right. So
the point being, what keeps them from making it for a penny, and then it just cutting you out. You have a patent, you have no money to enforce it. So it's like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 patents and 3 trademarks. My goal is to introduce it in the promotional products industry, to kind of build the brand name where you look at my product, you think flip flap, and nobody's going to make it to the quality that I'm making it, because I'm making it for me. I'm not really making it for anybody else. I'm the most important person here. That's the way I see it anyway.
That should be a song. I'm the most important person here. You should come up with the lyrics. I'll smack you with my flip flap.
I'm actually manufacturing in Vietnam now.
Nice. And so you don't have to do any more 3D printing, or do prototypes still an experiment?
Nope. I believe I've got it all mapped out. I've just been testing it, and hopefully by December I'll have it in promotional product catalogs.
Nice. What's kind of your game plan for marketing then at mass? It's like, so you take something like this, it works. It's online. It's like, but how do you approach as a non-business person? What's going through your mind trying to do this at scale?
Well, I know that I need to advertise on Facebook. I need to limit the places that I advertise so that I can get a handle on each specific platform. I feel like eventually I need to partner with some influencers, maybe micro influencers, get some unboxings going, and just producing content on Instagram, TikTok. Hopefully it'll go viral enough that people will get excited about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes in a box of 2. I call it word of mouth packaging. So it's 1 to wear, 1 to share for $29.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's not too bad.
No.
You should get Jack Johnson to actually put on some flip flops instead of going barefoot, and maybe you got your guy.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Or he comes out, he takes them off.
Yeah, is he in your network? Hook me up.
He's not network. I'll take him. So talk about like how like the business itself. Like, are you guys funded? Are you just bootstrapped? And describe that and what's going on from your business standpoint.
Okay, so it's all bootstrapped. I used to have more money, but I also had a wife at the time, so I have less money now.
Less wife and more money, or
I have no wife now, less money still.
I have half the money and 0 wife.
Right. But I mean, I have no lovers, I have no pets, I have no children. I'm free of most responsibility.
I'm not even sure what that means anymore. Let me just live vicariously. What's the number one thing that you like about being free from responsibility?
I don't like having people depend on me, because I like to be. I'm a wanderer. I like to just be wherever. But I'm also built for loneliness, so I'm perfect for.
I've never heard anyone admit that. What does that mean? So tell me what built for loneliness. Like, the reason I'm diving into that, I should say this: I've met entrepreneurs. I know that's the case.
Yeah.
And at times I'm like, I wonder if I'm better off if I was just me. I think some people ask that question and dismiss it because of whatever life they're in. But I think it's an important topic that I didn't expect to discover with you. How did you know, or how do you know that you're built for loneliness? Or is it loneliness or solitude?
It's a little bit of both, right? It's a little bit of both. I have a couple of close friends that I've had for years But what I've discovered about myself, besides being awkward as hell around strangers, is
You're
that
not that bad. I met you, and you are not. I have met way more awkward people than you. I
well,
don't think
you're not traveling around this little brain of mine either, but I
True.
appreciate that. But I don't make friends. I don't know why. And that translates to my communication with people in the professional world. I don't really like a lot of small talk. You know, I just like to get to the point. I like cracking jokes. That's cool, you know. But generally, I make friends by hanging out with you and then making friends with your friends. And then I just hang out with them with you. It's weird. But so
the world of you've been a perfect consultant. That's the word. It's the acquaintance world.
okay.
You spend time, you have a good weekend or week with somebody, and then you're like, oh, I'll see you in 6 months. And it's like totally cool. It fits your,
well, you know, when you're singing in a band, the most critical element of it is partying. That's your network of party people. You know, this is so much different than that. Those people in the party world aren't people that are going to help me, you know? So I'm trying to translate that crowd that I hang out with. But like I said, it's difficult to make friends. I dress like a modern day wizard, so I'm memorable, right? But people may not take me as seriously because then that's fine. I can do this shit myself if I have to.
If you're listening, he has like a 6-foot beard and he looks like a Gandalf in training. So, no, you got to commit to your brand. I like that. I like I think your brand's good. I will give you positive feedback. You're able to come on a podcast, so small talk can be, but when I met you, you weren't awkward. You were like any other. I think you just need to be around more entrepreneurs because I think you fit right in that group.
Absolutely.
I think you just fit right in during the week at the Blocks filming because everybody acts like we.
No question. It was the best experience of my life being able to hang out with, like, for instance, I went to Vegas for a licensing expo. And I'm trying to do my shit in reverse. I want to license my product to people. They want to license shit to me. But when I got there, you know, I was free of all the environments that I've grown up in. It was new, so I could be myself. And what I realized is how fucking weird I am compared to other people. But then when I got to the Blocks, I was just right at home. You know,
you have found your people, is all I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
You're not built for isolation. You're built for a different friend group.
Well, I also don't communicate. I'll talk to you every 6 months or something. I don't interact a lot.
Yeah. I'm not making excuses for it. Some would call that a dude. But if you're going to be in a marriage, you can't be like that. That's for sure. Cause you need more communication and intimacy in that level. But, I would just call that a dude. It's like default dude mode is what I'd call.
Right. It is
default dude mode.
Sure.
All right. Back to entrepreneurship. So what worries you the most today? Like what's keeping you up at night?
Well, I have a basic distribution. Well, I'll put it to you this way. I have 4 stages that have to be met. So I know exactly where I'm going. I'm hoping that each stage will pay for the next stage so that I don't have to get investment. But what keeps me up at night is not understanding my financials. I see numbers and my eyes glaze over, graphs and shit like that. I don't, for whatever reason, comprehend that. I'm a creator. I'm a creative person. That's where I go. I have vision, but I don't know all the steps to get there.
If you're I tell people this, music's usually the analogy and most people can't get this, but do you play an instrument or is your instrument
singer?
Just a singer.
I used to play guitar, but I have muscular dystrophy, so I can no longer hold a pick or fret a guitar, but you deal with what you got and move on.
Well, and where people are natural singers. So my son's one of those natural born singers, right? He's one of those kids that literally people that, you could train your whole life and his starting is 10 levels higher than you. Like he's just like one of those, right?
I'm the exact reverse.
You had to train to it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So if he would train and had the path, anyway, so part of that's on us. But that being said, I could never learn because it's people who could pick up a guitar and just know how to play it. And they're like, oh, okay. And a month later they're in a band and they're lead guitarist. You've met people like this, right? They're just wired for that.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of that. It's like you look at numbers and you look at the stuff that you have going on around you and you're like, I don't think I'll ever get this. And that's okay because you can outsource it. You still have to understand it to some degree. But I understand, like, it's not everything's supposed to be wired for everyone, right? It's not supposed to work that way. You have to take responsibility though, and still, understand your numbers to some degree, at least the ones necessary to raise money or build the business.
Yeah.
That's not too hard though. It's pluses, and then you take away the minuses, and there's something left over, hopefully. Hopefully. So that's the biggest roadblock, right, for you is raising the capital, because you're in that infinite bootstrap, can't make enough to pay bills and do the business and invest back in it loop, or what's the
I mean, just almost starting capital, not a whole lot of investment, because I believe that the stages can pay for each other. I mean, I believe the promotional, the business to business side can eventually, I mean, it's all slow if I'm doing it myself, but eventually that'll pay for me introducing 3 colors in the second generation to test my business model and distribution. Then once I get that nailed down, expand to 10 colors. And then once I get that down, expand to my transformable slide, which is in the future. But all of these steps should pay for each other.
What's the use case that's selling right now?
Well, I've found that a lot of people have, like some people have had strokes, some people have had drop foot.
Oh.
So even though my target audience is festival goers, I don't know that I've sold to any festival goers. I have sold at least 1 box in every state in the union, so that's interesting. Actually, one of my greatest reviews, it just made me so proud. This girl had drop foot. My product solved her problem. She hadn't been able to wear.
What is drop foot? I'm not sure.
Drop foot is some kind of medical condition. Your foot just hangs. You're not able to bring it up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I believe that's it. But so my product solved her problem. She went out and bought 4 more sandals to make up for lost time. She called it life changing. I was like, made my nipples hard. And that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm here to help.
I think you should name them like the Gooder sunglasses. Name theirs like usually like nipple hard. Then these make your nipple, like, name them some, like, I've got the nipples hard version. What do you got? Oh, I've got butt crack sweat or something like that. I got the cock ring convertible.
Right. I could doing business as, nipple hard or something.
Nipple hard. Taken probably, actually. Probably not the kind of site you want to. It's probably maybe a site you want to go to. Probably don't want to market to, because it brings up different searches.
Absolutely.
Look to the future a little bit for me. How are you going to solve that problem of cart before horse, or of what we learned in the blocks? How do you start ringing the cash register today to solve that future problem?
Well, I'm doing a little bit of A/B testing on the price. I raised it a little bit. I know that's not the way you're supposed to do it. But I realized my product is premium, and sales, well, it's seasonal, so sales are starting to go down. So it's hard to judge how it's affecting it, but it doesn't look good. Right? But I paid too much originally because I used a facilitator to do all these different things, where now I'm working directly with the manufacturer. I'll get a better price. I'm sorry.
The use case
cash register right now?
It was like festival goers, right? But like I said, the idea is that they could sell like a theme park where, hey, your kids wear Crocs today and you're worried about them falling off on a ride, so they don't walk around barefoot or go on the ride. Like, buy these things for whatever and sell them to the theme park to have them market it that way. Like, these save your sandals on rides. I mean, like, that's where you discover
product, but it's getting product. Being able to buy the product is what's causing me any trouble with direct to consumer.
You mean like the your raw material product, like the one to sell?
Yeah, like essentially, the goal is to just set up booths at festivals and travel music festival to music festival selling.
I see the angle there. You just want to get to the festival, huh? Yeah,
right. And also, it's like once I get the glow in the dark and fluorescent, you can make silicone both glow in the dark and fluorescent, or reacts to black light. So once I add that, then that just adds another feature that's going to be, specifically aimed towards EDM, dance festivals, stuff like that.
The at the blocks, there was someone who ran Love Fest, or was it Fire Fest? What is it?
Yeah. I forget her name.
What is it called? Oh my God, I blanked on the name. Anyway, in Miami.
I forget her name too. But we had actually talked about sending her some in yellow, because yellow is the theme color of that festival.
Yeah, You should. That's the Love Burn Festival. No,
Something like that.
dang. What time is it? Lose my mind. But have you gone to any of the festivals yet to go do it?
I just I don't have the money or the time. It's everything right now is I'm just working as hard as well.
All right,
The
I got a
blog
strategy. I got a strategy for you. You're
Okay.
gonna. I think her name was Nicole. Or was it Nicole? Might have been
No. She was one of the judges.
Right. I'm blanking just because I don't know why, because it's like maybe 250 degrees in this room right now, and I'm thinking I'm starting to feel it. But this is what I would do. I would get her and say, hey, I want to allow me to have a table there and give her a commission piece. She'll probably, I mean, like I doubt she even take anything just to help you get out of the rut. Because if you can kick off one and get some revenue in, you got what you need to go to the next. Yes. So you got a connection there because of the blocks. You should use it to try to just get a simple freaking table that you show up with and go, whoop, you stick it down and you say, keep your sandals on this week, or cock ring. Actually, probably works either way on that.
Are you suggesting she would pay for me to produce the product first?
I'm not sure what she'd probably give you the marketplace to bring down some to get them made.
It's all about getting stock, right? If I have stock, I can go do anything, and once I can start making money, I can start reducing the hours I'm working at my current job.
All right. So you got to get, so the other way, right, is like, we'll take the theme park route. Is you show somebody some examples of what you have, and they say, okay, cool, we'll buy whatever, 5,000 units. You can take that order to a bank and they will give you money.
Right.
To go build it. That'd be the other way. You got a purchase order.
Right. And that's the goal with the promotional products industry, is to get purchase orders that I then talk to my manufacturer and get him to make them without me paying him. We got a great relationship. Don't know if that's how it's going to work. Right.
We'll see.
But I mean, we've been working on it for a while. We talk every other day. So I feel like that's a good option where I can actually make money without spending any money.
Well, you got a patent on it, right? Is there any way to sell the patent or the rights to the patent?
I have 2 patents and 3 trademarks, virtually no competition, billions of potential customers. I'm not selling shit. I got a goal.
I like it. All right. It's got to get over that. You got to get over that initial hump.
That's
trigger.
right.
All right. Give me the shameless plug. Where do you want people to go, and who should come get a hold of you?
So they can find me on LinkedIn under the Original Flip Flap Company. They can email me at flap@theoriginalflipflap.com, or they can go to my website at theoriginalflipflap.com.
I love it. And who should be? Are concert goers, or who do you want to get a hold of you?
So my target audience would be festival goers, college students, but I'm really trying to sell license to the people who sell to them.
Got it. And then you'll be all set for getting enough revenue in to break the mold, man.
Absolutely.
If there's one question I should ask you today, but I didn't, what would that question have been?
Oh God, I hate quizzes.
But you got to answer it. So any answer you say is like it's the yay. You just got to write down yes.
I can't really think of anything. You should have asked me where you could listen to my band.
There you go. I like that. I was going to ask you, well, what was your favorite song you wrote? Was the one I was going to throw out there.
It'd be Doubt. Yeah. So if you go
how do people get a hold of you? How do they want to hear your music?
So if you go to YouTube, you can search botherrocks.com, all spelled out.
Botherrocks.com, YouTube. I'm going to find it and put a link in. Oh.
Yeah, or you can listen to us on Spotify, but it's got some extra stuff on the website.
All right, I'm going to find
the
it.
YouTube.
Bother Rocks.
That's right, Bother Rocks.
Are you saying bother or bottle?
BOTHERROCKSDOTCOM.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm going to have you put that in the chat later, and we're going to put that in the notes later.
All right.
There's things I'm good at and things I'm not in typing. Not one of them. I am the king of tie-ups. Sean, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you.
I love that you have the patents and the stuff done in your, and I think as I hear this, the thing that I would probably tell you that you need to do more and more of is get it for free. Just get around more entrepreneurs, because the spirit of people like you and myself, I want to help you be successful. I don't have anybody in this marketplace to help you, but somebody will, just because they know the pain, they know where you are in your journey. and if they, if you meet the right ones, that one connection is likely the one thing that's going to, I don't know. It might be someone say, "Hey, listen, I'll give you 10K to get it made." I don't know what it is because I mean, like it probably doesn't take much. And for somebody who knows the space, trusts you, try to get to know you a little bit, that's probably all it'll take. And I think just getting around that group that it gets you, that you're like one of them normal in, so you don't feel like an oddball in, or like as you described it. And after meeting you for the weekend, and like you're just like anybody else that was there, like, and probably more fun because you were like entertaining at least. So there was a few there that I was like, I'm not going to say who it was though, but you know who you are.
Yeah.
But
well, I live my life by serendipity, right? So as you move forward, doors open, and that's just the way the universe works. So it's just moving forward, consistent.
Keep moving. Don't stop moving or you die.
Yeah. What else would I do?
You could sing. You just walk around singing, and people like, there's that homeless guy that used to have that nice couch. Now he's walking around singing.
Awesome.
Hey, Sean, thank you so much. I appreciate it,
man.
All right.
Thanks for having me, Thomas.
You got it. I'll put you in the periwinkle room. I'll be right back. Thank everyone listening today. Hey, listen, Sean's got a really cool product. You got to check that out at the original Flip Flap, FLAP.com. Pretty cool stuff, especially if you can't keep your damn sandals on, or you just want something to be more sporty. Pretty easy to put on, put off. And the use case that I thought we didn't share was, you go to like Europe or something in the summer, or you go somewhere in like Costa Rica or whatever, and you're walking around. Because I'm not a concert goer, and I certainly probably wouldn't wear flip flops because I don't know why, I'd be like tennis shoes or something nerdy. But you're walking around, and at some point, like, you just don't want the movement and it just start hurting. This stuff kind of how it locks it in place, and then it's cool, and you can have fun with it. Listen, if this is your first time here, thanks for listening. Get out there, go unleash your entrepreneur. Cut ties to shit holding you back. Find ways to solve the problems and challenges you have. Go to youtube.com/@neverbeenpromoted and give us a follow and a subscribe. Thank you so much for listening.